Hi, hello, and welcome back to another video of CircuitDigest. This is Ashwin here, and in this video, I will show you how you can make a touch capacitive PCB like this one to control NeoPixel LEDs. So basically, the idea is to make a front panel PCB design. This is actually a term. A front panel PCB design is something which has some kind of interface on the top layer of the PCB. For example, if you see here, we have a lot of touch capacitive buttons of different types, and on the bottom side, you will have the electronics part. So this is like actually dual purpose in your PCB. Like the front side of the PCB will be shown to the user. You can actually put some graphics. Say here we have written CircuitDigest. You can put some of your logo, or you can even design it on the sill screen, and you can also add some buttons like this. And on the back side you will have the electronics or the circuitry which you are actually working with. So what happens is you can design an enclosure, design the PCB in any shape you want, and then you will be sliding it as the front portion of your enclosure so that the customers can interact with your device using the front side of the PCB. This is a pretty neat way which is often used to reduce cost of products. So now in this video we are just going to explore the same thing. We are going to figure out what type of buttons can be made using this touch capacitive things, and to just make it more interesting, what we have done is we have interfaced a NeoPixel LED here using Atmega 328. So what happens is, based on the touch we are providing here, the brightness and the color of our NeoPixel will change. You can also notice a small microphone and a buzzer. The buzzer is used for feedback whenever you touch a button, and the microphone actually is used in the music mode. Based on the music, your intensity of your NeoPixel will also be controlled. So this is just a cool project which you can build to understand how you can use front panel PCB designing, and then you can even use this in your bedroom or somewhere where you can actually control the lights by just touching it. You can just hang it, and you can use it as a wall mount LED display as well. Now before we dive in, it is obvious that you will be needing a PCB to try out this project. So I would like to take this chance to introduce the fabricators of this board as well as the sponsors of this video, PCB Way. PCB Way provides high quality PCB fabrication and prototype services. They are well equipped to handle standard and advanced PCB design and can also provide assembly stencil and PCB assembly services. They are known for their shorter lead time and quick customer response, and they also support the maker community. So do consider giving them a try for your next PCB. So here I am back with all the lights turned off. As you can see, currently the board is lit up in white color, and if I touch the capacitor buttons over here, we can change the color. Let me just put it into some other color, green. You're not able to see the vibrant colors actually because of the settings on my camera, but trust me, the color is getting changed when I do this. I will further change it to some blue color, and this slider over here can be used to control the intensity of the light. So if I go down, you can actually see the intensity going down, and if I go like this, you can see the intensity going up. So you can go all the way to 0 and come all the way. So all these touch capacitive buttons, I have programmed it to just show you how they work, but you can program it in whatever way you want. Again, it has 3 different modes. Currently what you're seeing is the RGB mode. It also has music mode. Based on the intensity of the sound level around it, you can see different colors flashing. You're not able to see all the colors here, but I'll make a separate video with another camera to show you how vibrant the colors are. Again, it has another mode where it just goes in circular motion. But before I show you the working, there is an important announcement to make. We are going to give away 3 PCBs of this touch panel displays along with all the components needed for building this project. So if you want to take part in that giveaway, all you have to do is mention in the comment section on for what type of projects designing a front panel PCB would be a very appropriate idea. So yes, just comment your thoughts and we will dispatch a PCB along with all the required components to build this project by yourself. So that being said, let's move forward. I don't know if you people have noticed, but this PCB here is in black color obviously, but this is not a normal black, it is a matte black. To give you a comparison, I can show you the Arduino piano project which we built some time back, and if I place it side to side, you can see that this is the standard black color that you get when you choose black, and this is the matte black option provided by PCB Way. Now enough with the PCB designs, let's see how we have actually built this PCB. As I told you, I'll be mainly focusing on how we built the touch panels, and obviously we have used the Atmega 328 microcontroller, so I'll be telling you which pins of your Atmega 328 microcontroller can be used for touch capacitive inputs. Now the answer is you can use almost any pin you want. So as you can see here, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 8 9 touch capacitor buttons, and inside this slider we have another 1 2 3 4 5. So all these pins are actually connected to a separate GPIO pin of your Atmega. So to give you a better idea on how all of these things are connected, let's take a quick look at the circuit diagram over here. Let me just zoom in to make sure everything is clearly visible. Okay, now we have the complete circuit diagram over here. Now the circuit diagram is split into 3 sections for better understanding. The first one is the power section. So we have the power section over here on our PCB board. So as you can see, we have just used a 7805 IC to convert the input 12 volts to output 5 volts. So you can see the 7805 here and 2 capacitors over here. Now another thing that you want to notice is we have not used the through hole type of 7805 or the capacitors, because if you use a through hole type, you will get holes over here. In fact, all the components that we have used here are SMD type. But yes, if you can manage to use only SMD components for your complete electronics, at least on this particular board, then yes, your front panel will look very neat and it will be much more attractive. Now coming back to our circuit diagram, we have discussed the power section. Moving on, we have the entire controller section. So this is the Atmega 328 microcontroller. And obviously your microcontroller needs to be powered. We have the VCC and AVCC tied to the 5 volt, which was regulated by the 7805. And then we have the crystal oscillator over here to keep our Atmega ticking. And now we need to plan how to program this Atmega controller. Obviously, since it's outside our Arduino board, we have placed separate programming pins over here. Again, the programming pins and pads are separately given in another section. You will get the complete circuit diagram in the description. Now coming back to the explanation, for programming your controller, you will need the RX pin, you will need the TX pin, and we have used some programming jumpers. So you can see the programming jumpers over here on the board. As you can see, I have shorted these two because right now it is in programming mode. Once you have finished programming, you can actually remove these solder bits. So these are called programming jumpers or jumper pads. So you can short them while you're actually programming them, so that you will be connecting it to your USB to TTL converter. Once you have finished that, you can remove the solder and use it as a GPIO pin. So once you have done programming, you can just remove these solder bits and you can use it as a normal GPIO pin. Now moving on, we have connected a buzzer to this pin, and then we have connected our touch capacitive pads to all the GPIO pins. So we call, just for easy understanding, let's call this slider. So we have pads below this slider, so let's call these slider pads, and these are the 3 modes. So we'll call them mode pads: mode, RGB, and music pad. And then this ring, for easy understanding, we have mentioned it as top right ring, and then top ring, which you can see here, top left ring, and then we have the music pad connected here, and we have the RGB pad here and the mode pad here. We have also provided another image which will make life a bit more easier. So as you can see here, the mode button is connected to D8, RGB button is connected to D7, music button is connected to D6, and we have 5 other buttons here. Inside these slider, we have 5 other buttons. I will show you the actual PCB layout so that it will be much more easy for you to understand. So these 5 buttons correspond to A0, A1, A2, A3, and A4. Yes, they are connected to analog pins. You can also use the analog pins for reading them as a touch capacitor pad. So that is it. This is pretty much it. It's a very simple circuit diagram. What you actually have to understand is how to design this PCB with a touch capacitor pad. That is also pretty simple. Let me just quickly open the PCB editing software and I'll show you how we have actually placed these pads. So we are here on our PCB software. As you can see, these are the touch capacitor pads, and we have not done anything special. We have simply connected them through a resistor. Again, the schematics can be found at the link given in the description. Now if you want to see the actual PCB layout for this is how it looks. Again, the Gerber file for this can also be found at the link given in the description. What I'm going to explain to you here is how easy it is to create touch capacitor buttons. All you have to do is make sure you connect them to a label, and that particular pin you can just create a custom footprint of your desired choice. For example, here we have just connected it to a square shaped pad. All we have done is made a pad of any shape that you desire, and then I have just connected it through a resistor to the GPIO pin of the controller. So another thing that I wanted to show you is that whatever you do on the cell screen can actually look like an user interface. So we have done our logo on cell screen here, and the slider, if you see, you were not able to see all these pads. It looked as if an actual slider was designed, but what was happening in the background was all these red color things that you see here, or the top layer. So for a better understanding, let me just remove the bottom layer. Now you can see only the top layer, and you can also see the bottom layer connections over here. So yeah, the point is that you can create a slider by just placing the pads behind it, and you can use the cell screen to make it look like it is an actual slider, but in actual there will be pads behind it which will be acting as individual touch buttons. So this is the complete program for our project. As you can see, we have used 3 libraries. The Adafruit NeoPixel is used for controlling the NeoPixel strip. The capacitive sensor library is used for making your GPIO pins, your digital GPIO pins, to work as capacitive touch sensors. And your ADC touch library helps to use your ADC pins as capacitive touch pins. Again, I'm not going to explain the code line by line because it's already done, and you can find the link for that in the description. You can also get the complete code from that link. Now, one thing that I wanted to tell you is that the code is segmented into small meaningful functions. For example, we have a separate function for mode, for RGB, for music, and then we have split the touchpad into 2 main categories. One would be the ring, the circular ring which you saw, and the other would be the slider. So this function here, check ring position and check slider position, looks if you're touching, keeps on monitoring if you're touching the slider or the ring, and it tells you if you have touched the ring in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction. And the check slider position checks if you have touched the slider from left to right or from right to left, and returns you the result accordingly. So that is it. It's a pretty simple program. Now you know how the circuit works, you have seen how the code works, and I have also shown you the PCB layout. The next step would be to fabricate your PCBs, and for that I would tell you to head on to PCB Way. Just mention the length, width of your PCB, how much quantity you want, the number of layers, click on quote now, and it is a very simple process to get your PCBs. So yeah, I have shown it a lot of times. I'm sure you people have also seen it. So if you need a PCB, head on to PCB Way, place your order, and your PCBs will be delivered right to your doorstep within few days. That being said, let's head back to our project. So that is it, guys. This is how you can design a touch panel PCB and use it for multi-purpose, like having a interface in the front side and the whole circuitry on the back side. So hope this video was useful. As I promised, I'm going to turn off the lights, turn on some music, and I'm going to demonstrate how this board works. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.